and welcome to Where No Way. And I'm here at MAGfest doing a review of giant size... What the... Oh... Damn it, where is it? I've lost my giant size man thing. Excuse me for a second. Excuse me, sir. Have you seen my giant size man thing?
Maybe. Who's asking?
Excuse me, sir. Could you, I need your help with something. Have you seen my giant size man thing?
Look, again, I was young. I needed the money. Jesus, see?
Have you seen my giant size man thing?
Josh, we believe we found it.
Oh, so, he knows I've seen his giant man-sized thing.
Excuse me, sir. You haven't seen my giant size... Oh, God! Excuse me, miss. Have you seen my giant size man thing?
What? Hey! Get the hell out of our room!
Ow! Just looking for a damn comic book. Huh. Well, I guess I'll just take a look at this. Epilogue by Steve Niles and Kyle Hotz.
Epilogue was created in 2008 by Steve Niles, the creator of 30 Days of Night, and Kyle Hotz, whose artwork was featured on books such as Evil Ernie and Nightman. I couldn't really find any information about why they chose to work on this project, or even how this story got pitched. Our story begins in Chapter 1 with a large group of criminals gathered around a single figure standing over them. I'm the one who tipped off the police about the Los Valles exchange. I intercepted the cash between 44th Street Dreads and the Locos Niners. I killed your gang members that you thought rivals killed.
I'm the one who gripped you tight and raised you from perdition.
I'm the one who destroyed your heroin shipments. I'm the one who scared your whores off the street corners. I'm the one who killed your dealers. And I'm the one who called this meeting.
So the first order of business here at the bake sale / swap meet.
To the surprise of no one, the gangs take umbrage with this and proceed to shoot him full of more holes than an M. Night Shyamalan script. The pain is tangible. It's as real as my useless lungs and yet so unreal. The pain is my reminder. The pain is my penance.
Oh sweet lord, did I pick up a penance one shot by mistake?
The leather-clad Gimpire starts healing up while the gang just kinda stands there and lets him. It's amazing none of them thought of getting heavier firepower or running the hell away while he was busy doing his T-1000 impression. Now you know. I'll be watching you. I'm not a policeman bound by the laws of a failed judicial system. I am one man. Judge, jury, and executioner. He then proceeds to rip one of the gang members' heads off and splatters it against a crate. Any questions?
Yeah, is that really what happens when we do drugs? Because really, I'd like some of that.
But I'm getting way ahead of myself. This isn't the beginning. For the beginning, we have to go back to the end. We then get a flashback to a man named Ethan and his family driving out into the woods for a camping trip. Sandra and I had been married almost 15 years. And the pool of how long it takes for tragedy to befall this family is now open! Mom, Chris is cheating! How do you cheat at Go Fish? It isn't easy!
Do you happen to have any fours? Screw this.
I was a lucky man. Now all I can think about is that it was my idea to go camping.
My wife actually wanted to go to a Justin Bieber concert, so all things considered, I think we broke even.
When you said private, you weren't kidding!
Yeah, nice place in the woods, but there's nobody else around. Can't see how this could go wrong.
The Gimpire looks on in tear-stained reminiscence as the police enter the warehouse the gangs were just in. Holy fucking Christ!
Please, Steve.
There are some wars that just don't go together.
Yeah, like Academy Award-winning director Uwe Boll.
As the police comb over the crime scene, Detective Marcy Kramer answers a call on her cell phone from the Gimpire himself. And he's addressing her by name. Okay, I can see how he might have figured out her name by overhearing people saying it in conversation or her introducing herself to officers on the scene. It's not unheard of that vampires have highly acute sense of hearing. But if that's the case, how did he get her cell phone number? Is there some sort of directory for that sort of thing? Did she mumble it in her sleep? Also, why is he choosing her out of all the cops on the force to be his Commissioner Gordon? Is it because he thinks she's an honest cop? How does he know that? Has he studied her? If so, how long has he studied her? For that matter, how long has he been a vampire since his turning? I'm sorry if I'm nitpicking here, but it's asking us to swallow a massive amount of disbelief in a really short amount of time. Detective Marcy Kramer, I'm the one who decapitated that criminal.
Oh, and if you happen to find a pile of shit there, that's when they shot me a whole bunch of times. It was kind of scary.
I just want to tell you that I will never harm an innocent. There's nothing you can do to stop me. But I wanted you to know, I'm on your side. Okay, what's with the really corny dialogue here?
Okay, is he setting up playground rules or something? Okay, I won't harm anybody who's innocent, but you can't do anything to stop me.
Marcy gets called back into the scene by her partner Winchell. He spots ashes in the place where our friendly neighborhood vampire man was Swiss cheesed by bullets. Marcy steps outside for some fresh sanity, but finds it's all out when she sees a cell phone thrown near her. She spots the Gimpire, but when she draws her gun, he vanishes. We then are brought into a mountainous area where a castle sits and two men are guarding a large door from a rat-looking gentleman. He shows them a newspaper detailing the work of the vampiric vigilante. A newspaper which looks like no one even tried to put a header on.
Ah yes, the Blank Page Times. Truly a bastion of journalistic integrity.
We then cut to the flashback where Gimpire-to-be Ethan is slipping his wife Sandra the old Oscar Mayer. Afterwards, they bask in the afterglow. You think the kids heard us? If they ask what the noise was, we'll tell them it was a wolf.
Well, you could always be honest and say, son, daughter.
Suddenly a scream is heard and Sandra heads out first, leaving her husband to grab his gun, only to find that he is far too late as a pack of vampires attack his wife and children. Oh, and the son's hair is now blonde for some reason.
Okay, first the son's hair was brown, then it was black, now it's blonde. Is he just dying in between takes or something? Did the vampires catch him while he was trying to let it set in?
Chapter 2 begins as Ethan tries to stop the vampires, but is bitten in the process. Panicking, he fires the gun into the face of the one who bit him. That same vampire knocks him off the cliff, where he lands on a ledge. Sandra pleads for the vampires to leave her children alone and take her, but they kill her and the children anyway.
We can't leave a mess like this, Roderick.
Well, maybe if you hadn't been such messy eaters, you wouldn't have such a mess to clean up.
They tear out the gas line on the RV to burn the bodies with when a group of park rangers comes by and scares them off. Okay then, pretty sure you guys could have taken them. The rangers spot the massacred family. I'm gonna call for backup! Yeah, tell them the suspects are still in the area! Before they call backup, Ethan returns to the scene, still in shock and unaware of his transformation. He sees his dismembered family and goes towards them. The rangers fire their guns only for the bullets to pass through him, and then he disappears. After the flashback, we see Ethan as the Gimpire scuttling into a smokestack to avoid the rising sun. At a diner, Kramer and Winchell discuss the possibility of the killer being supernatural. Winchell dismisses the notion as about as flimsy as his bendable cigarette. Kramer, looking through photos of a decapitated gang member, isn't so sure. We then see a drug shipment being made early in the next morning for a local mob boss, Victor Solomon. Apparently none of these mobsters are morning people, as we constantly see text bubbles of them yawning. Then we get to 8:24 p.m. and Ethan's ramshackle living space. All he seems to have is a lamp, a bed, a mountain of books and papers, and a refrigerator. He drinks a cold cup of blood to get him started for the night. Heading off with his somehow freshly repaired costume, Ethan stalks two guys from the early morning shipment. Before they snatch up a woman to brutalize her, Ethan tackles them into an alley, and he proceeds to rip one's head off before putting his fist through the head of the other. Suddenly, Ethan notices a flash. He turns to see the woman he tried to rescue taking pictures of him as he stands over the bodies of his victims. She runs to her car and peels out. No, please, wait!
You didn't get my good side while I was tearing that guy in half. Quick, give me some needle and thread. I'll sew them back together. We'll do it again.
Chapter 3 begins in flashback. Ethan remembers making his way through the forest, hiding from the sun, and killing a grizzly bear. He finally makes it to his home, but realizes he can't even bring himself to enter. He leaves the house empty, accepting that life as he knew it was over. Although I'm sure by now the authorities have identified his decapitated family, noticed he is not headless among them, and are probably hunting him down as the only suspect from the description the park rangers gave them, leaving out the whole being emaciated and immune to bullets part. So yeah, his life's pretty much fucked. Of course that begs the question on how he found a place that has working electricity, how he pays for it, where he got the bed from.
It just raises too many questions.
Anyway, back in the present, Kramer and Winchell are on the scene of the recently pulverized punks. They notice an abundance of high-ranking police activity and go in to investigate. They're stopped by their commanding officer and are informed that one of the bodies belongs to a deep-cover officer who's getting close to mob boss Solomon. Their boss tells them to keep investigating killings, just not this one. Not sure that's how that works, but okay. Winchell and Kramer find bloody footprints and decide to look at footage from a camera taken across the street. They talk to a security guard who, I might add, has excellent taste in reading, and get him to show the footage from when the murder happened. They see the undercover cop and his companion being slashed by thin air. Still think nothing unnatural is going on? Let's not get hysterical.
Let's not get hysterical? You just watched people get torn apart on a surveillance camera by nothing. I think Woody from Toy Story puts it best.
This is the perfect time to panic!
Kramer tells Winchell to find the girl with the license plate while she talks to Solomon and gauges how the underworld is taking to the news. Meanwhile, Ethan overhears from the rooftop. I killed a cop. They will never stop hunting me now. Remember that statement, folks. It'll be important later. I can hear every voice, every sound coming from everywhere. To me, this seems like a blanket statement to cover up how he found and knows anything about Detective Kramer. Does he hear everything in the city? Are his senses really jacked up to daredevil levels? I imagine he sleeps like a baby, what with the constant noise going on all around him. Ethan reveals he found the woman who took the photos, and he finds out he can't be photographed. This leads him to lay siege on a weapons dealer's warehouse, knowing now that security cameras can't really pick him up. But should that really matter if he's openly and brazenly murdering thugs anyway? I mean, truly, he is all about the low profile. Meanwhile, in an abandoned airfield, a plane lands and a gnomish-looking man greets a trio of vampires. I presume these are the ones from the castle back in Chapter 1.
Welcome, Enric, Soren, and Violetta. I am your humble servant.
Then why did you not do as we asked?
I did everything you asked, I swear. Tell me where I have failed you.
You said this landing strip was safe. All of a sudden, the vampires and Igor are swarmed by FBI agents. Question. Why are they there? No, seriously, why are the FBI there? Oh, that's why. They needed to be mercilessly and needlessly slaughtered to ramp up the threat of the vampire triplets.
You know, for a coven of vampires that are trying to keep a low profile, you're not doing a good job.
Chapter 4 starts with the funeral of the dead undercover cop. Kramer and Winchell get ready to leave when one of the suits, a former partner of said dead cop, accosts Kramer. Cops don't get phone calls from the same piece of shit who whacked one of their own and then keep it to themselves. He starts alluding to her having an intimate relationship with the killer when Winchell socks him in the nose. Meanwhile, Ethan muses and moans about how he can continue being a hero if he's a cop killer. Is it me, or does he have simple plans how could this happen to me playing on loop? Going out on patrol, he spots a carjacking. He lands on the car and spots a baby in the back seat. Smashing the thug's head against the wheel, he pulls the baby out and hands it to the father, who promptly freaks the fuck out and sprints like a vampire in skin-tight leather was after him.
Wait, no, don't go! It's the Gimp suit, isn't it? I'll find a cape, I'll find a better mask, please, just tell all your friends!
Enric, Soren, and Violetta, the vampire triplets from the last chapter, arrive at the police station and ask about Detective Kramer. Wait, how the fuck did they know who she is? No, seriously, I want a goddamn answer, comic! How in the 10 levels of Joe Quesada's bowels did they find out that the vampiric hero they're looking for has made contact with a detective, let alone a female one. And don't you even dare give me that they hear everything bullshit. They would have had to know which conversations to cherry pick from out of millions in a city full of people, not to mention things like TV shows, movies, music, random ambiance, or the occasional dog that just won't shut the fuck up no matter how hard you get it to try. Guard at the post doesn't respond, so they react by slicing his head off. They then burst into the squad room and proceed to slice up everyone in sight.
You're slashing up a police station! You think people aren't gonna notice that sort of thing?
You know those two suits I keep mentioning? There's a reason I didn't tell you their names. And pop goes the weasel. Kramer finally exits the computer room, and somehow the vampires know she's the detective they're looking for. You sure it isn't one of the many people you've obliterated on the floor? They drag her outside where a group of police officers are just standing outside waiting for them. How? Where did they come from? How did they get here so fast? The vampires say they're looking for the vampire hero when Ethan swoops in, drop-kicking one in the back. They quickly overwhelm him and begin to tear him to pieces. They berate Ethan for protecting and defending humans from his own kind. He begins to think that he deserves to be killed for killing the cop earlier. Oh, Jesus, dude, grow a pair! You didn't know! How could you have known? It's not like you couldn't have heard someone say it anywhere within earshot. Oh, fucking wait! Now look, either they can hear everything and piece shit together knowing everything that goes on in the city, or they don't. You could probably blame it on Ethan's inexperience with his vampiric powers, but the comic never even thinks to bring that part up. As Ethan is about to be killed, two of the vampires get taken down by a taser from Winchell. Not so tough with 10,000 volts of electricity up your asses, are you? That line's actually pretty badass. I approve. Ethan takes the time to tear off one of the vampire's heads and guzzle the blood flowing from it. The blood gives him enough strength to knock out the female vamp.
Interesting. It would appear you have human allies.
Thank you, Count Obvious.
The lead vampire then tosses Kramer aside. Turning Ethan around, Enric punches right through the vampire's chest. Put him down, Dracula. Last warning, you'll have enough voltage shooting through you to light up New York City on Christmas. Forgetting that he would end up killing Ethan as well and leaving the last vampire to slash the cops into giblets, the lead vampire drops Ethan, picks up his friend, and they vanish. Even though they could absolutely slaughter everyone there.
From the time of this filming, I have no idea if they've ever made more of this story, or if they've continued it in any form. So, until I know otherwise, this still stands. Bye!
Ethan then says, "Yeah, my bad about the cop killing." Kramer goes, no big. And he tells her his name is Ethan. And the last page of the comic ends with the cops looking up at Ethan scurrying up the side of the police station. More than likely wondering,
What the fuck is going on?
So, Epilogue by Steve Niles and Kyle Hotz. Yeah, don't waste your money, folks.
this book feels like there was little to no effort put into it at all. The kernel of a real good idea is there, but it's told in such a half-assed, slipshod way that it doesn't give any real depth or weight behind it. His family is slaughtered. Next! Cops are introduced and character established. Next! Guy kills a cop, he does a mea culpa, and all's forgiven. Next! As far as I know or researched, no sequel has been planned or even hinted at. The dialogue's amateurish and at times overly angsty in the case of Ethan. It's nothing different from any other poor, tortured vampiric soul we've seen before. The artwork from Hotz sort of works for the direction Niles seems to be going for here, which is excessive and unnecessary gore. If you love buckets of blood, ludicrous amounts of eviscerations, and don't think about the story too much, Epilogue is pretty decent. I guess I needed more than just viscera and emaciated skeletal vampires to like this story.
And with that, I'm going to enjoy the rest of the con. See ya.
Open my eyes, I try to see, but I'm blinded by the white line. I can't remember how, I can't remember why I'm lying here tonight, and I can't stand the pain, and I can't make it go. No, I can't stand the pain. got nowhere to run. The night goes on as I'm fading away. I'm sick of this life, I just wanna scream. How could this happen to me? Everybody's screaming, I try to make a sound but no one hears me.